Welcome back to the Overtime. Well, you've read the books and seen the movies, but have you seen it in action? Quidditch, the sport made famous by the Harry Potter series, is coming to the Muggle world, and NAU has their very own team. Take a look. Straight from the wizarding world of Harry Potter comes a sport that is anything but a fantasy. Quidditch is flying from the pages of the world's most famous children's book right into reality, and it's catching most spectators by surprise.
I thought it was going to be silly because you run around with a stick between your legs.
People are hardcore tackling each other, which I did not expect.
From shoving to tackling and grappling, Northern Arizona University's very own Quidditch team, the Narwhals, stress Quidditch is not for the faint of heart. And it's co-ed.
Honestly, it's scary. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it definitely freaks me out sometimes. But honestly, what's going through my head in that moment when a giant guy is running at me and I'm about to catch the ball, I'm just skating the field looking for my players to get rid of it. That's really all that's going through my head. And like, whatever happens, happens, and you know, I'll deal with that after the fact.
Still, Quidditch has gotten some mixed reviews from the uninformed observer. Some argue the game is filled with overcomplicated rules.
Basically, there's 4 chasers, so we're the ones with the white headbands.
When you catch a snitch, your team gets 30 points and the game's over, but it doesn't necessarily zone. It's a combination of soccer, rugby, football, and every sport ever just coming into one.
Others mock the sport's credibility.
We got people driving by, 50 points for Gryffindor. Like, we get those people, we get the people, you know, nerds, like, yelling at us.
Still, the Narwhals don't let Muggle criticism get them down.
A lot of people don't take us seriously, and honestly, it's okay because it is kind of silly. Like, we run around with PVC pipes between our legs, but honestly, like, that's half the fun of it.
And for those still not convinced,
come out and try it, and then tell me it's not a sport.
the Quidditch World Cup just wrapped up earlier this week, and the Narwhals finished ranked 36th in the nation. All right, now we have Zach Warhack, who's going to give us a preview of this weekend's upcoming games. Zach.
Yeah, Xavier, coming up this weekend, there are a few big games to highlight inside NAU athletics. First off, on Saturday, the women's tennis team is on the road to close out their season as they take on conference rival Southern Utah at 10 a.m. The Lady Jacks are having a season for the history books as they are leading their division with a 9-1 record in conference play, while on the season they're 16-7 overall. The last time the Lady Jacks have won a championship was when they three-peated from 1997 to the 1999 season, when their current coach Kim Bruno was a player on the team. Now, with that being said, the team makes a playoff run each year, and the barrier that the Lady Jacks will have to break through this year is Sacramento State, as the Hornets have beaten the Lumberjacks 4-0 the last 8 times these two teams have met in the playoffs. With this in mind, the Lady Jacks are up for the challenge and excited for the opportunity to bring the championship back to Flagstaff, but first, they're focusing on their upcoming match tomorrow. Now, keeping the theme of playoffs going, it's time to talk NAU Lacrosse. The team had some important games last weekend that they performed exceptionally well in, as they defeated Northern Colorado 22-12, and they also beat Biola by a final score of 23-9. With these 2 huge wins, the team earned home field advantage for their quarterfinal playoff game against Cal State University of San Marcos tomorrow at 1. Now, this is a familiar matchup for the Lumberjacks, as they have faced off against them the past 2 years in the quarterfinals and came out victorious in both matchups. Following these wins, the Lumberjacks were knocked out of the playoffs in the semifinals in the past 2 years. Their loss in 2015 hit a little harder as they fell short to their rival Cal State Fullerton. Now, this year the team is ready to win their quarterfinal matchup, and they're prepared to take on Fullerton once again, but hopefully this time for the Jacks, they beat them. Now, last but not least, don't forget about the NAU spring football game, as the blue and gold team will battle it out tomorrow at 2.
All right, Zach. Yeah, the blue and gold game is always interesting to watch, and this year it's actually going to be held at the Skydome. So, you know, some history being made. It's actually the first time that the game has been held there in over 15 years. So that's definitely going to be one to watch. And that's going to do it for us tonight. For all of us here at the Overtime, I'm Xavier Angel. We will see you next week. Have a good night.